Okay, let's do this. I've been wanting to make this video and share this video, and it's been something that's been on my heart for a while now, honestly, for a good year, but it feels very vulnerable to share. It opens, I guess, me up for some judgment, which I fully understand and expect in sharing my life on the internet. But I wanted to sit down and share it here on YouTube because I feel like this is a space where we can kind of just vibe together. It feels like a FaceTime. It feels like we're just hanging out, and I can ramble as much as I need to ramble compared to Instagram where the videos are just like quick and short and whatnot. So if you're new here, or if this is the first video you stumble upon from me, hi, I'm Alessandra. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I own a couple of fitness-based businesses and primarily share a lot of just like healthy lifestyle mom content. But I also share a lot of my life here on YouTube, especially, and just like how we live. And I really just wanted to share this not as a polished educational testimony. It's really just my story, and my story that is still very, very much evolving. And my hope really is that it just inspires somebody who needs to hear it. And I just think about me needing to hear the story in the past, and I know there's likely someone who might be in a similar position as I was that needs to hear it. So hopefully, if that is you, it finds you at the right moment and it is something that you find valuable. But ultimately, it is just something I feel really called to share and open up about. So just to kind of give some backstory here, I grew up Catholic. I think through most of my life, faith was really just about going to church and going to Mass every Sunday. We would do CCD, just kind of going through the motions for most of my life, I feel like. And I think with the Catholic faith, in my experience, it felt like a lot of rules. It felt like just routine, and just there was like a shame/guilt aspect of it, of like as far as confession and all of that, which I don't know. I feel like some people can probably resonate to that in growing up Catholic, but it just felt very strict and rigid and was more about my relationship with the church versus relationship with God, if that makes sense. And I feel like it just always was sort of disconnected for me. It wasn't something that I was fully bought into. It wasn't something I believed in God and I believed in it, but I just feel like it was missing something. And I don't really think I knew what it was missing. I would look at other people who seemed to have this really strong faith and really strong relationship with God, and I just didn't feel like I had that for most of my life. And I feel like it ebbed and flowed a little bit. There was definitely seasons, like I remember as a kid, where I would pray a lot more. And then there were seasons, like as I got older, where it just felt forced. And I think that was just part of being a teenager. But basically, once I got confirmed through the Catholic Church, which I think was like 9th grade, so like first year of high school, that was like the last time I really went to church regularly after that. I went here and there for my younger siblings, but after that it was pretty much just this like sporadic thing where I would go just because my family was going, and it wasn't really something I was about. So that's my history, and I think that's an important part of this story because, like I said, for most of my life, I feel like my faith was rules and strict and rigid and just more so about like saying sorry for your sins. And then something happened last year that completely changed everything for me. In one of the most unexpected seasons of my life, God just showed himself in a way that I could not ignore. And it's still like, looking back, I'm like, what? I don't even know. I don't even think I have the words to explain it. But I'm going to do my best to tell that story here for you guys. So anyway, that's my history. Maybe you can relate to it. Maybe you can't. But yeah, I think, like I said, after that, it was kind of this in-between thing over the years where I would have very short seasons where I would try to bring this connection back and try to do a devotional every morning and try to listen to podcasts and things. It never really stuck for me at that time. And throughout those times, I wasn't all in. I wasn't treating it like a relationship. It was kind of just like, this is what I feel like I should do, and I'm going to try to do it, but it wasn't consistent. So, like, comparable to, I'm sure a lot of you on your fitness journeys, you go through these spurts where you're really consistent and you're doing it every day, but it feels like something's missing, and then you end up falling off track and back to square one, and you jump to the next thing. And that's kind of what my faith felt like for a while. I would say the only other time it really felt like I was getting closer to God was through our season of infertility. So this was 2021 to 2023, 2022, I guess, or sorry, 2021 to 2023. We struggled to stay pregnant. I had 3 miscarriages, and I really tried to come back to my faith at that time as well. And I think that kind of was a little bit of a spark for me where it felt better than it ever felt before, but it still wasn't super consistent, and I still wasn't bought into it, I feel like, to the extent that I am now. So anyway, throughout that season of infertility, I really tried to lean into my spiritual health and lean into God and do my daily devotionals, and I did. And then, we got pregnant with Cora, our miracle rainbow girl, and I thought, like, okay, like that's it. We got what we wanted. I had a great pregnancy. It all made sense kind of once she got here, and I was like, okay, I think, our family is complete. That chapter is closed. And at that time, it was almost like I was leaning on my faith through that harder season, which I'm sure many of you can relate to. And then once I got what I wanted, I was like, okay, I did it. Like, we're good. And I kind of let that fall to the side again. Fast forward 9 months after Cora was born. Here we are thinking that our family's complete. Life is good. I'm running again. I'm hitting 10-mile distances. I'm hitting 25, 30-mile weeks. My fitness level is great. My health is great. I have these 2 amazing babies. Like, she was sleeping through the night. Like, all is good. We're making travel plans. We're making future plans of, like, what our next year, what our next 5 years looks like. We're making business moves. Like, things were just felt like they were all in a good place. And I was truly, genuinely happy. And then at 9 months postpartum, we had a little oops moment. I knew I was ovulating. I knew that there was a chance I could be pregnant. And I was just like, probably not going to happen, like, based on our history with Cora, like, throughout our infertility journey, like, it's not going to happen. Like, I would be shocked if this happened right now. And, you just kind of go through that thought process in your head. And it was just like, I understood it could happen, but at the same time, I was not expecting it to happen, if that makes sense. Obviously, a couple days later, I take a pregnancy test as early as I could possibly take it. And within seconds, I get 2 lines on that test. And my reaction to that was not what you might think after going through a season of infertility. I froze. I think I was in shock for a good few days. Josh was mowing the lawn at the time, and I just texted him a picture of the 2 lines on the test and didn't say anything else. And I remember he stopped the lawnmower, came up to the window, and I'm, like, inside freaking the heck out mentally and crying because this was not our plan. This was not in the cards for us. We thought we were done. I didn't think I was going to have to go through another pregnancy. I didn't think, like, we have a 9-month-old baby. Like, our baby that we just had is not even 1 yet. It was just a moment of, like, oh my goodness. And I was not happy, if I'm being completely honest. It was a very, very hard phase for me, a hard few days, a hard few weeks where I just was not okay. It was very mentally draining on me. And I think looking back, it really was a moment of just grief because we had, like I said, we made these plans of what we wanted our life to look like and what we were going to do and travel and, like, our little girl was about to turn 1. We were out of the baby stage and like all of these things. And in a moment, all of that just blew up and was like, no, not happening. And if I'm being completely honest, in that moment, like Josh and I had conversations about if we were going to go through with this pregnancy. And this is the vulnerable part of the story because I'm sure there will be many people judging me for this, but this is the truth. I didn't know if I wanted to go through with it. And for, I would say, the first week or so, I was acting as if I wasn't going to go through with it. Like I was just kind of pretending like it wasn't happening and do some things that would make it not happen. And to be clear, Josh never said that this is what he wanted from the get-go. He pretty much was like, this was fate. Like the chances of this happening were so incredibly slim that this is just how it was meant to be. And that was the kind of the attitude he had all the time, which I admired at the time, but also I was like, easy for you to say you don't have to go through 9 months of pregnancy again, and sleep train this baby again and all of the things. I was in a very just mentally poor place. And I made an appointment at Planned Parenthood, and I also ordered the medication online because I was like, I don't know what I want to do here. And I think that this is probably not the right move for us. There's no way we can have another kid. I cannot handle 2 under 2 this close in age. I cannot handle having 3 kids. Like I truly did not think I could do it. So I made the appointment at Planned Parenthood, got in my car, and even like that whole day, I was like asking Josh to just tell me what to do. And he, being the human that he is, was like, I am not telling you what to do. Like, this is your body. This is your choice. And he, again, made it clear, like, I think this was fate. This was meant to be. But ultimately, this is your decision. And I'm not going to be upset with you no matter what decision you pick. But we need you to be mentally okay, and we need you to be mentally here and mentally well as mom, as a wife, as a human. So I made the appointment. That entire day, I was like debating canceling it. Like the second I clicked the button online to make the appointment, I just felt this presence and felt this heaviness in my body. And that kind of stuck with me throughout the entire day. But I still got in the car that day. It was an afternoon appointment. I think I put Cora down for her nap and got in the car. And I remember it was a hot summer day. It was a beautiful day out. Got in the car, was driving. It was about a half an hour away. And I remember praying for the first time in a really, really, really long time. Really long time. Probably since like the depths of our infertility journey, which was probably over a year ago at the time. And I remember being like, please just like give me a sign. Like I need a sign. I don't know what to do. This doesn't feel right, but I don't think I can do this. Like I need you to show me something. And I finished that prayer, and this wave of just, it almost felt like somebody was putting a weighted blanket on my body. I had this just like instinct to turn around and go home. Like something was telling me like, turn your car around, go home, do not go to this appointment. My arms, like driving, felt like so incredibly heavy, like rocks. My entire body like stiffened up. I can't even explain to you guys like how physical this felt for me. But from that prayer forward, the entire rest of the car ride, I just had this like something was speaking to me to turn around and go home. And I don't think at the time I fully understood what it was. And I know that I asked for a sign, but it was just like, I think I was still in shock, honestly. And then I think I felt this and I'm like, what is happening? I get there, I arrive at Planned Parenthood, and I park my car. There's nobody in the parking lot. It's like totally empty. I'm sitting in the back of the parking lot, still debating, like, what am I doing? I call Josh one more time. He's like, listen, I'm not telling you what to do. Like, you need to figure it out. I'm hysterically crying, but I still have this wave and this just heavy feeling over my entire body. I get out of the car. I'm walking in. I can literally feel like just like it was almost like there was this invisible wall in front of me, or like this invisible force like pushing me back. Like walking in just felt like the hardest thing, harder than anything I've ever done fitness wise. And it just felt like my body was not like moving. It was like an out of body experience is the best way I can describe it. I get to the front desk. I'm about to check in. I give her my name. The woman there is asking for my insurance card. And I just remember saying, I'm sorry, I have to go. And I'm hysterically crying at this point. And she's like, do you want to talk with one of the doctors? Like, how can I help you? And I'm like, nope, I have to go. And I turned around, I got in my car, and I drove home. Looking back now, I understand that that was my sign from God. That was the Holy Spirit taking over and saying, hey, like, we heard you. I heard you. This is what I want you to do. And I wouldn't say at that point I was like completely fine and like accepting of this pregnancy, of this surprise baby. But something in me definitely felt lighter, and I knew I made the right decision. I knew that I could never go through with something like that. But that moment, I would say, is the moment that completely shifted my perspective from viewing God and my faith as a religion that I practice versus having a relationship with God. Like, I look back and I'm like, I look at Wes today and I look at what our life looks like today, and I'm like, I cannot imagine it looking any different. Like, I cannot imagine him not being here. He was meant to be here this entire time. And I know if you're listening to this too, like, you might be thinking, you went through infertility, you wanted a baby for so long, you wanted a second child for so long. How could you even like not accept another one? And I understand that. I totally get it. But it's like when you have plans and have this plan for your life and everything is set in stone, you feel so happy and fulfilled, you really can't think of any other way. And I think it was really hard for me to see at the time like what God truly had planned for us. That was my wake-up call, I guess. And it's not a proud moment that I look back on as far as me making that appointment. And I'm not even going to pretend like the rest of the few weeks after that or months were easy. But it was like that truly was a wake-up call. And I didn't see the full picture at the time still, because I don't think I could have seen it until I literally saw Wes in my arms when I had him months later. But once I did have him in my arms, I understood. I understood why this was our story. And I understood why all of the struggles and the infertility and this really hard mental moment for me to accept this surprise pregnancy. Like, it just fully became something that was part of my story and part of our story. And it just became so clear that like that was how it was supposed to be all along. So it's just, I look back, and even like Wes's birth, like he came into this world fast and furious. We call him Wild Wild West for a reason. I had a very precipitous labor. It was literally 3.5 hours from start to finish. And there was like, even reading his birth, like his charts after from the doctor, once we got home, like I didn't even realize in the moment, like he got stuck for a second. He was a soldier dystocia birth. And there was something written in his notes after, like from the hospital papers. I remember reading, it was like, infant was blue, not breathing. Like, he came in so fast, and after being stuck for a few minutes with his shoulder on my pelvis, after he got through finally, like he didn't cry right away. And I just remember feeling so at peace, and I wasn't frazzled. And I think that was partially due to my amazing midwife, but like, I just knew, like, I wasn't worried. And I just attribute that to God too, protecting him this entire time from all of the above. So long story short, that is my wake-up call to my faith. It still is something that I feel like I almost feel like a newbie again, because it just feels so different this time. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still figuring out how to walk with God, I guess. But I still see him showing up in my life every single day. And, you know, I pray multiple times a day, every day now. I do my morning devotional. I've been reading the Bible, which I've never actually done outside of like CCD in CCD class as a kid, where they make you, I don't even think we read the actual Bible, but it was like self-study materials. I listen to podcasts. I cannot get enough of it. I don't even read my fiction books anymore. Like, I go to bed at night reading something faith-based, and I just feel like a new person, I guess. It's just this part of me that has been woken up, that I feel like I've tried to wake up before many times, and it just never felt genuine or right. And this time it just feels so different. So that's why I felt called to share. I'm not claiming I have it all together. I don't have all the answers. I'm still very much on this journey, but I think there is such power in sharing our stories. And this was one I honestly thought I was going to take to the grave, just with, I'm sure, how people feel about me even considering that option. But it led me here, and I'm so grateful that it did. And I'm so grateful that I got to experience the feeling that I felt. I don't think I've shared this really with anyone, maybe a couple people here and there, like my very close friends, Josh, but like this, if you're watching this as a family member or as a friend, like this, we kept to ourselves, because we know how much of a sensitive topic it can be, but that's how low and how not okay I was for a while. So I just hope that this message finds somebody out there at the right time, as far as maybe you felt similar to me and like how I was brought up in the Catholic Church. Maybe you've had experiences where, you know, you have felt God before, but you weren't really sure that that's what it was, or whatever it is. Like, I just hope this resonates to somebody out there. The message I want to close off with is, it's never too late. And I think for a long time I thought that it was too late, but it feels really incredible to be on this journey now and to be exploring this spiritual side of me that I feel like was just missing for so long. So anywho, if this resonated, I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm keeping it very, very unedited, this video. But yeah, that is the story. I would love to chat with you if you have questions, or if you do find yourself in a similar boat as far as getting pregnant unexpectedly and really struggling there. Like, I can be the person that you talk to, because I probably have felt every single thing that you are feeling too. So that's it. That is my video from the heart this week. I would love if you do have recommendations for devotionals, or if you live local to us and go to an amazing church. Like, I've started to think about that side of things too. But like I said, this is very much an ongoing journey for me. And yeah, what a beautiful journey to be on. So I'll leave it at that. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I will still share snippets and things here and there and be open about this moving forward, but I felt like I needed to make this video first to really just open up and be transparent and share my faith, share God. Okay. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.